I mean, August of 11.
Extortion 17 happens, which again is the biggest loss in SEAL team history. So let's start there.
Um, Kind of the way we talk about it is, where were you? Where were you when 9/11 happened?
Yeah.
Where were you when June 28th happened? And where were you when August 6th happened? I know exactly where I was. I was sitting in a movie theater with my wife sitting next to me, my shooting buddy's wife, and then my shooting buddy. We're all watching a movie, and we're probably 45 minutes into it, and phone goes off, and you're glued to these things. Can't miss a text message. Like, I mean, the addiction to your phone becomes a real thing. Like, you can't miss a text message. You can't miss a phone call ever. And his phone goes off and mine does too, and we both crack him. And we both looked at each other at the same time. And he had got a text from somebody in the White House, a staffer, used to be a team guy. And he said, "Call me right now." And I had the exact same thing, the exact same time that said, "Call me right now," from a different guy. Okay. And he texts back, "What's up?" And he said, "Afghanistan, helo, get to work." I looked right at my old lady, "Get up." Walked right out of that movie. They split and drove each other home, and I jumped in the car with him. We drove straight to work. And everybody was in there. Like, it was spreading fast. Nobody had any real details. I mean, we did, but it went into, it turned into a fucking circus. It was like I was reliving a movie that I'd already seen that I didn't want to know the ending of. I've been here before. Like, I already knew what this is. All the notifications, basically everybody's throwing on dress blues, they're driving out. Me and my wife are grabbing groceries and gallons of Starbucks and dropping off at Gold Star houses. Just really trying to take care of our own. That's one good thing about the Gold Star community, is they know exactly what they need. So basically, the notification team would go out, and then we would roll in behind and drop off gifts, groceries. We pick up kids from school. We do whatever we could. And that's the collective, that's everybody. It's just what you did. Trying to make sense of what had actually happened. There's just no good way to go about that. I mean, that loss is felt this fucking moment. Like, that didn't happen. How did this happen again? And you couldn't explain why. I mean, things happen in war. Things that you wish didn't happen. You wish it wasn't a reality. It's absolutely reality. It's another reality check. Doesn't matter how good those dudes were. You couldn't have picked a better... There wasn't a more capable fighting force on the fucking earth than the dudes who were on that helicopter. And it didn't matter. It did not matter. Gone in an instant. It's like, fuck. Like, how are you going to come back from that? And then selfishly, how are we going to take care of all these families? Like, what do we do now? It's like every foundation just dumped in, trying to support, trying to do whatever they could to... I mean, inside of that, we're trying to rebuild. Like, we're still fighting the GWAT. Like, we can't let this be our defining moment. We just can't. We've been through this thing before. Unfortunately, the CO at the time had been through this exact same thing. He was a Group 2 Commodore when Red Wings happened. He had been through this whole fucking thing. So, put a plan in action. We had to rebuild the force, had to take care of all the families, take care of all the kids. Me and Patsy started making memorial t-shirts within 12 hours. Just trying to raise money, just trying to do anything. That's what a lot of people don't realize is there's a gap. Like, if you're pronounced dead, your paycheck stops. There's a long gap before any kind of life insurance comes in or any kind of support. So the only thing that puts food on the table, the only thing that puts gas in the cars are foundations. Like, people that are raising money. And we don't know how long that gap's going to be. Like, now we've got big name foundations that really lend a helping hand, but it doesn't matter. To them, to that singular family, the whole world just came crashing down. It's over. Like, it'll never fucking be okay now. It's like anything you can do to try to lighten that burden, you try to. That's making a memorial t-shirt, that's, picking up the kids and having to make skateboards, whatever it might be. You have to do something. But I'll tell you what, that was That was a super dose of reality. Because doing a lot of shit in helos, and it's like, that's the reality. That is exactly what is going to happen. Like, there's nothing you can do for that. It doesn't matter. Like, you can't plan for that. You just can't. I mean, you can try to do things, but a helo gets shot down with all those people on board. There's no good scenario out of that. And it crippled us. We had to rebuild the force, and every team had to give up bodies. And that was the whole point of contention. Like, people wanting to rebuild, people not wanting to rebuild. I don't want to go. I want to go. Just, it was a circus there for a couple weeks. It was.
Do you want to describe a little bit more in detail how many lost, what happened?
Well, without getting many specifics, the weather was not in favor. It was a high illume night, and a force went out and got contacted and needed to launch a QRF, and they launched in that troop to be a QRF, and on final they got shot down. Everybody's in there, like, you've got an amazing force, you've got the world's best sitting in the back of this flying school bus. It lands down, they shoot it out of the sky. It's, you just can't plan for it. I mean, you just can't. It's 31 people gone, including some Afghan partner forces, but an entire troop of people.
Yeah. It's
just gone. And I mean, things that people don't think about, things that I know that haunt other individuals is, think about the guy who missed that deployment, had a shoulder surgery and wasn't there. Think about the guy who had to go home for a birth of his kid. You should have been there. Like, that's gonna weigh on that dude forever. And it is. I don't know, I just remember walking into the building, it being so fucking somber, just, you didn't know where to smile, like, you wanted to have fun at work, but you couldn't. Like, how dare you smile right now? It was one of those things, like, and it wasn't a forced, thing, it's just, it's what it was. I mean, we were in the trenches for a long fucking time, man. We just were, and it felt like it was so hard to get back out of it. We tried to rebuild, and we've got the force, and they're back, and they dumped every dude. They pulled guys from all the other teams and tried to rebuild that one troop, and they grabbed some fucking all-stars, man. They did. Like, they spared no expense. They grabbed some serious fucking talent, and they rebuilt. And they built a dynasty. Like, they built some fucking badass dudes.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.